welcome to reality. As I go to sit, I want to bring to your attention certain things. This is a doormat. It's written on welcome. It's green in color. That one is a screwdriver. Its own kind. These are curtain holders. And this is a bucket. It's green in color. Yes, I want to talk to you. I want to tell you a story. A fairy tale. A story? No, I want to tell you a riddle. When I was a small boy, I was born in the town of the Wind. It's called Nakuru. Wind in my language. I could not be able to speak the language of where my parents came from. So my mother did me a favor because I could only speak the town Kiswahili. She took me to her mother's place, a place in Wanga, a place called Ebwadiro. I looked into the Luya language and realized Ebwadiro means a place of beddings, rest. Beddings, rest. Yes, that is where I started learning my my Luya language practically, and that is where I started my first primary school called Ekamasia Primary School. And when I went back, when I'd grown up, there's a time I went and we lived in Eldoret. And I told somebody Ekamasia, and he told me, oh, Kamasia? Baringo? Then I realized the two names had something in common. Why am I talking about this? I want to talk about something. It's like a fairy tale. I talked of genge. Genge means gangster. There are good gangs and bad gangs. In my past videos, you can be able to note that. What happened is that I was told fairy tales by my grandmother. Her name was Nanzala in Wanga, which means hunger. Look at this. This is a green bucket. That is a green doormat. Green means plants are growing. There is food, there is plenty. But I was told fairy tale by Nanzala, hunger. And yes, she also gave me riddles. I was a child then. She told me stories. But now I'm a grown-up. And there are some stories that are only for grown-ups. Please, this is a riddle. It is free for anybody, any grown-up, to interpret. I was told the stories when I was young. But now, I've gone through books, and I am a man who is retired. So it means now, my riddles, my stories are for grown-ups. For instance, I was told that there was a land of Babylon. And Babylon was in a land of Arcadia, or a land of Mesopotamia. And I kept wondering, Babylon? Here in Kenya, there is a language that people use to sing genge. It is called Sheng. Shen is a language that interprets Swahili and our languages. So to them, Babylon is Babe, so they say Wababe, and Babe is a warlord. And for the warlords, when people here are discussing Wababe, they talk of the rich people. Wababe, rich. So when in Babe, that's how they talk about. So it means a rich person has plenty. Yes. Babylon, the land of plenty. The land of Babylon, the city. Nineveh, Uruk, Persepolis, or others say Persepolis, Hattusa, Assur, Enugu, and Warka. Those are some of the big cities that were there at that time. Listen to the story. Listen to the story. The king in this place was called Hammurabi. I looked at the meaning of Hammurabi in the internet, and this is what I found. Akkadian from Amorite, Hammurabi, meaning the kinsman is a healer. From Amu, meaning paternal kinsman, and Rapi, meaning healer, was the sixth king of Babylon. And when I talk of Hammurabi or Hammurabi, I'm talking about a great king. A king who did something unique. A king who introduced the law. And this one takes me back to the film I watched one time. Yes. Was it the Bible? It was called the Bible. And I remember when Moses was on Mount Sinai, or it is now known as Mount Musa. It is in the Sinai region of Egypt, or the land of Kemet. I remember Moses in Mount Musa giving the 10 Commandments. But the commandments aren't 10. The main commandments are 10. There are over 100 commandments. Go to the Old Testament and read them. They are not 10. They are more. In fact, they guided the Israelites in every aspect of their life. And a similar king called Hammurabi or Hammurabi from Babylon, the land of, I looked at that and I saw Babylon was Mesopotamia, the land of the Hittites. Remember the Hittites? And the Kassites. Hittites, Kassites. The very Hittites that, they were writing a statement about. You can go to the past ones, I can't remember. You will be reminded by them. So, I remembered that. The same Hittites. And I started asking myself, why is this? Why is it that I can't understand? These Hittites went that far. I knew they were Mesopotamians. And yes, I looked at the geography of Mesopotamia. And there was a map showing that Mesopotamia was not a small kingdom. Mesopotamia stretched from the Tigris and Euphrates, the two rivers, to Egypt engulfing the Nile, up to the tip of the Red Sea. Was I looking right? That is what I saw today. In fact, I looked at it and I was in trepidation. What is this? And yes, Mesopotamia came all that length. Mesopotamia is a place where modern agriculture began. The green basket of the world. Mesopotamia is where irrigation started. Was it the basket or the bucket? Green basket and green bucket irrigation. We remember that man who started the irrigation. I can't remember, got the past videos. Who a canal is named after. Irrigation. I started wondering, Kinsman? Yes, Kinsman. And Hammurabi had so many laws. An eye for an eye. Sounds familiar? A tooth for a... He was Hammurabi. I wondered something about Babylon. And I realized this is where the Tower of Babel was. Tower of Babel. And I looked at it, and yes, the Tower of Babel is there. It is in Iraq. The ziggurat of Marduk. I wondered, the ziggurat of Marduk? What does this mean? As I was perusing, I decided to check on something, because there was a time when I was going through the internet and somebody who I thought had a mental problem was very busy telling me of Nimrod being a black man. And I was wondering, Nimrod? And when I looked for the name Nimrod, this is what I found. Nimrod means foolish or inept. Foolish or inept. This is a riddle for us to interpret. But in the Bible, a great hunter. That's exactly what I found in the internet. I'm not adding anything, I'm not subtracting anything. Nimrod means foolish or inept. But in the Bible, a great hunter. I slept wondering. The kingdom of Mesopotamia, straight from Euphrates, Tigris, I think it went beyond that. Because on the Goa coast there were, what were they? Those kings, you can also go to the past. And I remembered that Babylon, Acadia, was the land of Cush. A grandson to Noah, Cush. And what does Cush mean? I realized that Cush also had the same meaning as Kemet. Kemet? Yes, Kemet. Where the Mesopotamian Empire went up to. In Mesopotamia, they were hanging gardens. I looked at hanging gardens and I realized irrigation, green because of the bucket. Yes, green because of the bucket, irrigation. I looked at that canal and remembered Yusuf, Musa, and here is Musa giving the 10 Commandments. I slept wondering. I'm still wondering. Who is Nimrod? Who is Hammurabi? Yes, and who is Musa? This is for the grown-ups. This is a riddle. Work it out for yourself. I add nothing more. I say nothing more. As I go to put out this thing, I'm asking myself, are we Nimrod? Are we Hammurabi? That is my take for now.